Hey guys! Welcome back to my channel. In this video you will learn what is equilibrium law and how to write equilibrium expression, as well as calculating equilibrium constant. But before that, we make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn the notification on, so you don't miss any videos in the future. Equilibrium law is a law in chemistry that is used by scientists to determine the mathematical relationships between the concentrations of reactants and products, called equilibrium constant. This law states that the concentration of all the products to the power of their coefficients, divided by the concentration of reactants to the power of their coefficients, which is equal to equilibrium constant. Equilibrium constant is the ratio of reactants to products in a reaction when it is at equilibrium. Keep this in mind, that this law applies only when the reaction is at equilibrium state. If this is not the case, the equilibrium law does not apply. The general equation for the chemical reaction follows the below rule. The small letters indicates of the substance's coefficients and the capital letter indicates of the substances, which the left ones are the reactants, and the right ones are the products. Note that concentration of any substance is always shown in square brackets and not in any form of bracket. The equilibrium expression is the non-numerical representation of the equilibrium law, which states the chemicals to the power of their coefficients inside the square brackets. Note that the equilibrium constant unit depends on the chemical reaction. However, in general it is mole per liter. The larger the concentration of products, the larger the value of the equilibrium constant will be. And vice versa. Which it means the larger the concentration of reactants, the smaller the value of the equilibrium constant will be. If the equilibrium constant value is greater than 10,000, which means there is more products than reactants. If the equilibrium constant is smaller than the 0.0004, which it means there is significantly more reactant and product. The values between these values indicates that there is significant amount of both reactants and products in the system. Here is an example of the equilibrium reaction. As you can see the equilibrium sign in the reaction, that means you can use equilibrium law. The concentrations of products to the power of their coefficients divided by the concentration of the reactants to the power of coefficients. First write the sulfite molecule to the power of its coefficients and then divided by the sulfur dioxide molecule to the power of its coefficient multiplied by the oxygen gas. Note that this is just the equilibrium expression. Here is another example. Please feel free and pause the video and give it a try. First write hydrogen iodide as numerator to the power of its coefficients and then divide them by the hydrogen gas multiplied by the iodide gas. Here is another example of how to write equilibrium expression. It is same as last time. Products to the power of their coefficients divided by the reactants to the power of their coefficients. Here is another example of how to write equilibrium expression. Products to the power of their coefficients divided by the reactants to the power of their coefficients. Now let's jump to calculate the equilibrium constant when the concentration of molecules are given. As you can see, there has been given the concentration of the nitrogen dioxide equal to 0.0007. Nitrogen monoxide is 0.0008. And oxygen is 0.0006. Now let's write the equilibrium expression first. Products to the power of their coefficients divided by the reactants to the power of their coefficients. Then substitute the concentration of each molecule into the equation. Using the calculator, and then you can get your answer, which the answer is 1276.04. Here is another example of how to calculate equilibrium constant. Feel free to pause the video and give it a try. Same as last question. First write the equilibrium expression. And then write the concentration of each molecule. Use the calculator and then you will get the answer. The answer is 8.45. Here is another example of how to calculate equilibrium constant. Same again here. The rule applies here as well. Write the equilibrium expression first. And then substitute the concentration of each molecule into the equation. Calculate the answer and then you will get 52.51. Here was the lesson for today. I hope you have learned something new today with us. Thank you for watching my video.